Hello everyone, in this tutorial I will quickly show you how I create musical form in the piece. These letters are elements of form that represents energy level that you give to your performance through intonation, obviously through internal singing, while playing. Beginning, rising, climax. There also can be development after beginning and conclusion after climax. Each of these elements of form are very clearly connected and structured upon sentences. In other words, each sentence is one element of form. So every time I will see this vertical line, which is the beginning of a new sentence, I will, assign a letter to it. So how do I find where is the beginning, where is rising, where is climax in the piece? So first of all, I'm trying to allocate a relatively big part in the piece that kind of make sense, it's around 1, maybe 2 pages where, the theme has full beginning and the end. In this case, it would be this 1 page. And then when I see how many sentences, how many elements of form would be here in this part. So we have 1 sentence here, 2nd and 3rd. This is already the beginning of a new part. So in this case, I now know that there are 3 elements of form. Okay, so I kind of have some kind of map in my mind already. And what I do next is try to find beginning and climax. And obviously I'm looking at the music. I'm kind of singing it to myself, humming in my mind to feel what resonates with beginning, what resonates with climax, Well, beginning usually is in the beginning, unless there could be also some introduction, but talking about next time. So let's say this is beginning. Now, when I kind of go through this whole melody, I feel that this part likely to be a climax part. Again, climax is usually at the end, right before the next big part in the piece starts, so that's probably it, And after I've found beginning and climax, well, I'm just trying to fill up the gaps. So after beginning, there could be development. And before climax, there is always rising. So in this case, we should prioritize rising, because there is no climax without rising, unless you want to scare someone. So there have to be some build-up. So in this case, we are omitting development. So now we have beginning, rising, and climax. So in my mind, that all kind of aligns with the music. It feels natural to me. Now we're done. So now we can move on to the next. So in a way, this first big part has 3 elements of form: beginning, rising, and climax. Now we're going to the next big part. And we're just going to start with beginning, since, well, I kind of know that it is beginning. In a way, it's the repetition of the first theme. And so this line would be the end of the next big part. In a way, we just look at another same theme in the left hand with some kind of beautiful, ending. So as you remember, we start our first sentence here, so that will be one sentence here, second, third, fourth. So we're gonna have 4 sentences in here. And again, I think it's very safe to just copy the first theme. So first, remember, it was beginning. Now rising. This is definitely climax. And this descending passages, in my opinion, is just a nice conclusion. So that's about it. So we have beginning, rising, climax, and conclusion in our second part. Now we're going to the next big form, and again, let's start with beginning. So we don't need. And let's see where we go. In my taste, it's all just one big part which ends right here before main theme comes back. So let's see how many sentences we're gonna have there. So we start here, so it's the first sentence, 2, 3, and 4. Again, 4 sentences in this part shouldn't be too hard. And again, I'm just trying to find beginning, which is usually in the beginning. And next thing is try to find climax part. So if you know this piece, then when he goes to this new key and when he just dissolves in this dolce piano, for me, this is very significant. For me, even though it's, pianissima, for me this is clearly a climax part. Also, well, this is the very last sentence before we start a new part, so it only makes sense. Now again, let's fill up the gap. So before climax, let's try rising, which will fit very nicely here. Climax. So now we have here a beginning, and there we have rising. So between beginning and rising, there's always development. So this is kind of more really traditional and regular form when you have beginning, then development, then rising, and climax. This is almost like so typical. So development, rising, and climax, and this leads to almost, I think, is it the last part? We'll see. Well, definitely to the next big part. Coming back to the main theme, beginning here. Definitely. Okay, so this is what was happening. So if we're gonna continue with the pattern that we had in the beginning, so remember we used to put here rising, right? In this melody. And then here we usually go to climax, da 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 da, but he kind of making a mixture here where climax part is mixing with again a kind of a new spiral, a new form. So what I've done here, and it made sense to me, I assign some kind of mixture of climax that and rising. Basically it's climax, but also that leads in a way like a breakthrough to a new spiral where a new part of form begins, which is really just a small ending, because if you look at the end, so he goes with the main theme, da 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 da, and then goes again, da 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 da. So everything here is kind of how to say, pressed, you know what I mean, like more in a rush in a way. There is less space between everything. So now we have one. So let's assume this is the last part here, and it starts from the peak. There's one sentence here, second sentence here, and the last sentence there. So we have 3 sentences here. And if we think that this one is definitely conclusion, then this should be climax. It's almost like, you know, making puzzles. So when at the end, you know, everything kind of falls into place. You see? So let me just show you again from here. It's very nice. So you start this last part kind of, okay, you go with beginning, with main theme, da 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 da, with rising, da 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 da. Then climax, which is also the rising of the new part, da 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 da, da 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 da, and here the climax part with 3 phrases in the sentence, da 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 da, boom da da boom, and conclusion, da 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 boom. So that's how I see the kind of musical form in this piece. So when I start playing, I always keep this whole picture in my mind, knowing that, yeah, okay, so we have 4 or 5 big parts, right? And the first part has beginning, rising, climax. Second part has beginning, rising, climax, conclusion. Then third part starts as kind of new material, which has beginning, development, rising, climax. The fourth part goes with beginning, then goes to rising, climax, and again it becomes also rising and climax, and then conclusion. So when I have this map in my mind, it allows me to play the piece and in a way know where I am in my story as a storyteller. So that helps to kind of embrace the whole piece and kind of have it very small and solid in my mind.